And now it's time for Guerilla Roundup. They'll let you know what happened overnight when things transpire you whilst you sleep. Right there in the loop you keep.
Welcome. We're back with Guerilla Roundup from day one of the second test from the Basin Reserve in Wellington. And I'm very happy that we're joined again for our man on the spot, Hector Vickers. Welcome, Hector. How is your day?
Evening, Messi. Great day. Very chaotic. I mean, the amount of emotion changes. So, yeah, feeling pretty drained at the end of the day, but in a new setup. It's pretty busy at the end, so I thought I'd come back home and do the roundup from here.
Excellent. So England scored 280 and in reply New Zealand at 86 for 5. So why don't you take us through the morning as it was?
Yeah, well, it was a chaotic start. Matt Henry in particular with a new ball. Southey opened up. Again, the feeling was that he should have been dropped ahead of this test, but on his farewell tour, there's not much you can do about that. He didn't look too great, but Matt Henry from the other end, his first 4 overs, I think he got 2 wickets for no runs in the first 4. He was looking pretty deadly. Zach Crawley, first over, hit a 6. I think he's the second player to ever do that, hit a 6 in the first over of a test. Chris Gale has done it twice. Duckett went for a duck, nicked off to Latham, who finally caught one in a second slip. And then Bethel came to the crease at 3, and he looked pretty good compared to... So Crawley then got out bowled by Henry. It was a great ball, but Bethel looked really good. Hit Nathan Smith for back-to-back 4s until the short ball plan was put in place. Fielders back behind the bat, and the first ball that happened, Bethel fell for it and just gloved one behind to Blundell. But New Zealand's catching in general was pretty good. Phillips did put one down later, but other than that, they were flawless. Joe Root again with a low score. He got 3 off 7, caught by Darryl Mitchell, who took a great catch at third slip. I think that's the first time Root has had 3 single-digit scores since 2019 or something like that in a row. And yeah, so England were in a spot of bother. Bethel went. So at one point we were, I think it was 45 for 4. Brooke and Pope once again just clawed England back to lunch. I think we were 129 for 3 at lunch, and Brooke and Pope looked really comfortable out there. Pope is loving life at 6. He ended up on 66 off 78, and Brooke with another 123 off 115. He just looked like he was batting on a completely different pitch. I mean, some of the shots he had a 6 that landed in the middle of the roundabout outside the Basin Reserve. And yeah, he hit 5 6s in total and got a nice 123.
So you've got to say Bazball was in full operational mode for Harry Brook. Foot movement only ever came into it when he was coming down the wicket to the bowler, but not laterally at all, as far as I could work out.
Yeah, we actually spoke to him about that after the day. And we said, was there ever a moment where you were considering a defence when you were 45 for 4? He was like, well, I tried defence after I reached 100 and didn't work out very well. So I think I'll just continue playing my game. And he actually said that shot he hit for 6 over extra cover, he said that was the easiest shot he played all day. It was pretty tricky on the back foot. So he said just advancing down the wicket made batting pretty easy for him, which is pretty nice. Nice resolution to have.
Indeed. So that partnership put on, what, 160 odd?
Yeah, 179.
Wow, that's impressive. But after that, things didn't go so well.
Yeah, so Pope fell. Will O'Rourke, he was bowling really quick again, sort of low 90s today. Pope fell similarly to how he got out against Sri Lanka at the Oval. It was just a short ball and he spooned it up, short leg, took a pretty easy catch. And then Wokes came in and he looked shaky, so we were worried he was going to fall just before tea. But in the end, it was Brooke who got out before tea. It was a bizarre run out, just pushed it out into the leg side.
Yeah, don't forget Stokes went earlier too.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot about Stokes. That wasn't a very memorable innings. He played and missed it at a fair few, and it seemed that O'Rourke was pretty on top of him throughout the whole thing. So it was an inevitable edge to Latham again. But then, yeah, Brooke he said afterwards that he thought that the ball was in the distance, so he was just going to jog 3 for 1, and then he looked back and Smith was there and ran him out. But then after tea, a flurry of wickets. I think we lost our last 4 for 21 runs.
Yeah.
We finished on 280, losing 4 for 21 in just 16 balls, which is, I think, summarises the bad side of Bazball pretty well. And our last 6 wickets were wrapped up within 16 overs. Brooke was there for 233 of the runs, so without his innings, it would have been a whole different story. But the seamers wrapped up our innings pretty nicely, and our tail did not wag this time round.
So what was the feeling generally around the place after England made 280 on what seemed to be a pretty good test wicket with a bit in it for the bowlers, but not unplayable by any means? Was the feeling that they'd underperformed?
Yeah, massively. So obviously Latham won the toss and chose to bowl, which is the 17th time in a row that they've chosen to win. The person that's won the toss has chosen to bowl at Wellington. But Stoke said that they would have batted, which shows that they saw something else in the wicket. And the position they were in with Pope and Brooke at the crease, they could have easily looked at 400 in that day, let alone in their innings. So England, it was a massive blow losing those last wickets, and New Zealand would have gone into their innings with a whole lot of confidence and momentum.
So take us to the New Zealand innings. What actually happened?
I couldn't tell you. I completely lost track of everything, and wickets were falling. Conway again, he's had a really poor series. He's had a poor year as well, to be honest. It was actually Wokes who made inroads at the beginning, and the ball was just moving everywhere. It was pretty hard to keep track of, and Wokes almost found Conway's inside edge. I think it was 4 times in the first 2 overs, but then eventually it was Atkinson that got the first wicket. Conway nicked off to Brooke for 11. And Latham again just gifted his wicket to Ben Stokes. He came on, didn't really look to be that threatening, but was just given a wicket. Latham, wide of off stump, just smashed the ball into his stumps. He went for 17. Ravindra has continued his poor series. He's meant to be in the sort of Brooke-esque catalogue of players. He's predicted to be in the future top 4, but he fell for 3. Wokes finally got a wicket. That was a great catch by Bryden Cast. Ravindra sort of edged it onto his pads, ballooned up in the air, and Cast ran forward from mid-wicket and took a good diving catch. And then they sent in Will O'Rourke as the night watchman with, I think it was 25 minutes left of play, which was a little bit of a weird decision. O'Rourke's highest score in Test match cricket has only been 5. I know he's only played 5 matches, but even still was slightly dodgy. But he ended the day on 0 off 16, so he did his job pretty well. Williamson was a weird innings because he was looking really solid, and
he played some gorgeous shots,
some great shots, but he played and missed at a couple, and then he edged off. I think he edged off Bryden Cast, but it was one of those where the spike came up off his edge when the bat was on the pad, so he got benefit of the doubt there. And then he also edged a couple, but they all landed short. So he was pretty lucky, but Cast eventually got his wicket. Williamson went for 37. Ollie Pope took a nice catch behind the stumps. And then O'Rourke and Blundell, everyone was pretty pumped up, and O'Rourke and Blundell just blocked their way home to the end of the day.
Darryl Mitchell also got out strangled down the leg side by a pretty ordinary shot in the last over, effectively, wasn't it? Or almost. Not quite the last over, but right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end. So it was a weird couple of hours. I mean, I don't think anyone really knew what was going on because reviews and all of that. But New Zealand end the day on 86 for 5 and still trailed by 195.
Yeah, so that's a hell of a long way behind. So England very much in the box seat here. What's your feeling about the prospects for tomorrow?
Well, the pitch is drying up. Like it's dried up a lot since this morning. 26 overs in, so the threat of the new ball is made largely behind them. Will O'Rourke, he's not expected to do much, but Glenn Phillips is still to come. He we know what he can do with the bat. He's pretty destructive. And Nathan Smith. So New Zealand, they're not going to get a lead, but I think we got to remember that England only got a first innings score of 280. So New Zealand can eke into that lead a little bit. But yeah, it's England's game after day one.
Yeah, I think you're right. What's the highlight of the day from your point of view? And it may not even involve cricket. I don't know.
Oh, the highlight of the day. Oh, no, I think it was just Brooks 6 over onto the roundabout. Because I think at the time we were like 52 for 4. Everyone was feeling pretty sorry about the England. Everyone was saying, oh, it's the downfall of Bazball. And then Brooke couldn't care less, just walked down the wicket, almost hit a car whipping around the roundabout. I thought that was a pretty cool sign of intent from him.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for that, Hector. It sounds like you've had an exhausting day, if nothing else. And it's
sorry.
cricket. It's been cricket right through the series. You can't look away at any time because there's always something going on. It's a fantastic advertisement for Test cricket. And similarly, right now at the Adelaide Oval, I'm finding it hard to look away. So we've got another test continuing this evening in South Africa. So it's peak Test cricket time, and it's bloody wonderful. 70.5 hours today for Test cricket. So I think that's a win.
It couldn't get better.
Thanks so much for that. We'll be back with you tomorrow. And I have no doubt that it'll be just as exciting then. So thanks very much for today.
Thanks, Bessie.
And now it's time for